Welcome to the No Bull Political Arena with your hosts, Sophia Nelson, Bill O'Reilly, Brian Mistro, and TJ McCormick. It's real voices, raw politics, and no bullshit.
Well, hello everybody. It's Brian Mistro. I am getting to do the show again by myself today. I'm actually starting to enjoy this. I don't know. Maybe I should do a Brian only show, or you know how they've got those little YouTube and what are they, Instagram little shorts, where you're like they only show this much of you, and then you've got like 2 minutes to give your thoughts of the day. I don't know if I could get my thoughts of the day out in 2 minutes, but I don't know. I'm gonna do something. Some of this is kind of fun, and as usual, as you know, I can talk exactly and say exactly what I think with no bullshit and give it to you straight. So as always, say, grab yourself a beer, grab yourself a whiskey, grab yourself a Coca-Cola. I don't care if you're gonna grab yourself some prune juice. Go grab yourself something to drink. Maybe a cigar, sit back, let's talk a little politics. So, number one, as much as I like to make light of the things that are happening right now, let me go ahead and read this slide to you because this is this is very concerning. Again, let me just go ahead. I'm going to quote it, and we'll chat about it. More from MSN Now. President Trump plans to deliver a Thursday evening speech addressing newly declassified intelligence reports that the White House asserts reveal plans by foreign nations to interfere in the 2020 election, according to two White House officials granted anonymity, is that how you say that, to discuss internal plans. Well, I read about this from a small news network maybe 2 days ago, and I dismissed it. I'm not dismissing it anymore. So here's what it is. The reports are that Donald Trump's going to address the nation on Thursday, and he's going to assert that foreign nations are planning to interfere in our elections. And there's reporting that he's also going to assert that the two Democrats that were elected senators, that would be Ossoff and Warnick, I believe. Apologize for mispronouncing your name. Anyways, that they were illegitimately elected, and where we go from there, I don't know. So I guess there's probably three possibilities as far as I can tell. The first possibility is that Grandpa has had a stick up his ass about losing the 2020 election from the day it's happened. All he fucking does is lie. Lie about the election. It's like he just can't accept that 80-year-old guy kicked his ass. So he is the number one, again, staying with the number one thing. I think that there's a real possibility that, they're doing this and the FBI is doing this to placate him. So for those that don't know, Pulte, and if you don't know that name, he's one of the biggest screwballs in the administration. Well, Donald Trump put him as the head of DNI, which is over all the intelligence. Uh, in my opinion, completely illegally. He's no way he's going to get confirmed by the Senate. No way. No way. They basically already said that's not going to happen. Well, Donald Trump still gets to put him in that position for 60 or 90 days. And this is a guy that has absolutely no national security experience. I think he was running HUD or something like that in the administration. He reportedly was going to get in a fist fight with Bessent. He's just a screwball nut that probably has an IQ smaller than your shoe size. So why did Donald Trump put him there? Because Pulte is extremely loyal and he has a way of screwing things up. And so you can bet your ass that some of this stuff, this new intelligence that is being declassified, is coming from this guy, and you can bet that it's a joke. So we also are aware that the FBI has put substantial resources into Georgia, into Atlanta, Georgia, to look through what has happened in the 2020 election, I guess in the 2024 as well, to try to find some fraud. Well, there is no fraud. I mean, they hand counted these things 3 times. So let me prepare you for this right now. In Georgia, yes, you might tabulate on an electronic screen, but it all goes on paper. Okay, so if you're a foreign government, which is what they're going to apparently going to say, if you're a foreign government, you can't hack paper. You can't hack paper. So I don't know where they're going to go with this, but I think the number one most likely is to placate Grandpa to make him feel better that there was some kind of fraud, and he actually won Georgia and California and in Maine and every single state that's out there that was solid blue. So that's option number one. Option number two is that he is laying the groundwork for something a bit nefarious. And I think that this is the most likely scenario of what he's going to do. So Donald Trump has consistently been trying to write executive orders to change how we do elections and how states do elections. He has been, by executive order, he's been trying to get the voter registration rolls of states across the country. He has lost every single lawsuit, bar none, by federal judges in every single one of these states that have said, no, you can't do that. That's not how our election system works. The federal government does not get to dictate how states run their elections. Sorry. So my concern here is that he's going to use this as a factual pretext to subvert or reduce the elections in a way that benefits Republicans. Remember, as crazy as that might sound, don't forget January 6th. That's exactly what he was doing. That's exactly what he was doing. This is nothing new for him. The difference was during January 6th, he didn't have the people in place in his administration, and certainly the vice president. He didn't have the people in place to be able to pull something this off because they gave him the finger, realized it was unconstitutional, and they may go to jail for the rest of their lives if they followed it. He doesn't have that anymore. He doesn't have what he's done this time, he doesn't have a clown or two in his administration. It's the whole damn circus, okay? And he's the ringleader of this circus. So if he tries to subvert this, the midterm elections, which looks like it's going to be a Republican wipeout, and we'll talk about that in a little bit too. But if he tries to subvert this election, if he tries to impose either martial law or dictate how states are going to run their elections, putting the National Guard or putting ICE at certain election booths where there's a lot of Hispanics or other folks like that, which all of this is illegal. You cannot do that. But that's a real possibility of what we could be leading up to. So if that happens, that is a full-blown constitutional crisis. The only thing that would be able to save us from that is going to be the courts. And what happens if Donald Trump gets a ruling from the courts that he doesn't like and he ignores it? Well, that's another constitutional crisis. I know we keep throwing out that word. I don't know how that ends, but I don't see how it doesn't end in some sort of a civil war or something even worse. And a civil war doesn't have to mean, let me rephrase that, because when I say that, I'm not talking about a civil war of tanks rolling up and down Main Street. I'm not saying that it's two sides in each state and they're shooting off their rifles at each other. Although that's not out of the realm of possibility. That's not how, at least, I'm defining this type of civil war. What I do think is a very real possibility is if he does do this on Thursday. I think it's a very realistic possibility that you have mass riots in every major city. I think that you'll have more political and business assassinations, especially political assassinations. I think that there's going to be a lot of deaths on both sides, as both sides are willing to take it to the streets and make it bloody. And I think that there's a very, 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 very real possibility, if not most likely, that Donald Trump would announce martial law. Once he does martial law, then that part we were talking about, the tanks rolling down the street, becomes much more of a real possibility, because now it's U.S. military against civilians, and this is assuming that the governors of these states don't call out their National Guard against the U.S. military. How does that end? Don't forget, this is the same clown that sent the National Guard from Texas. I think it was up to Illinois. What was it, 12 months ago or something like that? Because the governor of Illinois refused to call out the National Guard, so he pulls it in from another state. So don't think this is out of the realm of possibilities. It is very possible. Um, I, I mean, we'll know more after Thursday and after Grandpa gets his opportunity to go piss and moan and groan about the last election. And again, these are rumors. So, but it's now been, these rumors have been discussed and talked about by multiple outlets now. It wasn't just this little fringe outlet where I read it at the beginning. Major outlets are now reporting that this is going to be the subject matter of what he's talking about. So the third possibility is that he tries to use this as a way to discount the election, or the successful election of the senators of Georgia, maybe some others, and more importantly, that he will write executive orders like the SAVE Act. He'll say, you know, this the national findings in our intelligence community, who's run by Pulte, by the way. Uh, our intelligence community is telling us that that these foreign governments are going to get involved in our elections, and I'm writing an executive order and surpassing all election laws and the Constitution and everything else to make the Save the America Act mandatory, and that's it. So that that would not be the worst of the three options. I think number two, which would be a constitutional crisis, would be the worst. But I do think if he does number three, it's probably going to lead to number two. Um, there's just not a good way out of that once he does that. It's going to be for the courts to work out. It's going to be something the courts have to work out quickly. And how do you use your own government and its intelligence community run by an idiot, Pulte, uh, and successfully be able to fight that back if you're the opposition, and fight that back if it's your own intelligence community and there's things that you can't share? I don't know. I mean, this is just shit. This is stuff that we've already crossed the Rubicon in things that have never happened before in this country. It looks like Thursday night we're going to cross it again. Let's hope it's number one and it's just Grandpa bitching and moaning and groaning, because if it's number two or number three, with Pulte running and being DNI, and Donald Trump running out all the career folks at the FBI, etc., and putting in his lackeys that are loyal to him over the Constitution, it would be a mess. And by the way, just one little comment before I move on about Pulte. He has absolutely no intelligence experience. And that job literally is written and codified that only someone that has that intelligence experience, they've got to meet certain qualifications. And they did this after 9/11, by the way, if I recall. But they codified it that said the head of the DNI would have to meet certain qualifications in order to even be considered by the Senate for confirmation. But Donald Trump can put somebody in there, I believe it's for 90 days, and circumvent that process. And after 90 days, he's gone. So do your little calculations. It's July. I think he was put in there in June. So June to July, August, September. In other words, Pulte, assuming that Donald Trump doesn't fight it, could be very well be in that job uh, through September and throw the entire elections into just a shit show. So that out of the way, let's move on. But do watch us if this happens on Thursday. I highly suspect I know we don't usually broadcast on Fridays, but I highly suspect we will do a special report because it's too damn important for everybody not to know what's happening and not to have the breakdown of what they're doing right now. Because especially if it's number two, then we're in a constitutional crisis, and it's just a place we've never been. So let me move on to something that's almost as bad, but no, it's probably not quite almost as bad, and this will shock anybody. I'm going to read it. This is from Philip O'Brien, but it's been reported on through Washington Post, New York Times, all the major news networks. So, quote, the new Washington Post story today, the Trump family has secured about $3.2 billion in Pentagon contracts for firms which they are involved in. This is the tip of the iceberg in the largest corruption saga in U.S. history, and yes, it is. Many of those organizations that got those Pentagon contracts for those billions of dollars, it was a no bid. It was a no bid. There was no contest. It was automatically given to them. And in many cases, the Trump kids would go sit on a brand new board of a brand new company, and miraculously, hundreds of millions of dollars are given to that company in a no bid scenario. Nobody else could bid on it. That's corruption at its finest. Uh, I'd like to tell you this is going to end well. It's not going to, because I don't think that we're going to be able to find a way to hold them accountable. Maybe state law can, but you can bet your ass that in 2028, or let me rephrase that, in the early days of January 2029, Donald Trump is going to pardon himself. He's going to pardon his kids. He's going to pardon many people in his administration against any and all things, both past, present, and in the future. He'll make it such a mockery out of the damn pardon system that I don't know what happens. I mean, how do you get the money back after they've already got it? I don't know. That's why it's important that we win the midterms. And I hate saying this because I have so many problems with the Democrats, and I'm not a Democrat, but I think this is why it's so important that we win the midterms. That's the only way that you're really going to start holding these folks accountable from doing the kind of stuff that they're doing, and the largest grift operation in the history of the United States. And it's not like number two is close. Number two is miles behind them. So it may come down to taxes and finding a tax loophole that goes after them for doing this. I know he'll pardon them for it. And it may also come down to states in which he did this, but I don't know. I mean, that's not my strength and my wheelhouse. So I think if I was a betting person, I'll tell you, I would say that they're going to get, at least until there's a new president, a new sheriff in town. I think they're going to get the money, and I don't think there's a damn thing anybody can do about it, short of a civil war. Number three, and this is going to be a short one. I'm not going to read this whole slide. It's from Fox News. But Supreme Court Justice Amy Barrett went today and talked briefly about the dangers that people have put on her and her kids. She's been, had, what do they call it when they send out food and stuff to you that you didn't order just to screw with her? She had to wear she had to wear a what do you call it, a bulletproof vest. And her kid comes in and he's asking, why are you wearing a bulletproof vest? House, she had to explain to her young child, this is why I'm wearing it. They've been swatted. If you don't know what swatting is, that's when somebody calls an anonymously and says, "Oh my God, somebody's broken into their house and they're holding them, they're holding the Barretts hostage," or that Amy Barrett has grabbed her AR-15 and is looking at killing her and her kids, or just making up some bullshit at 2 or 3 o'clock in the morning. So they get a ring from the police and the SWAT teams, and all the lights and all the bullshit come down on them. And I mean, it's just so ridiculous. She's not the only person it's happened to. I think it's happened to, I know it's happened to other Supreme Court justices, happened to Kavanaugh. And it's happened to federal judges. It's happened to lawmakers. Folks, I don't care if you're a Republican or a Democrat. And I don't care if you think that this Supreme Court is the most dangerous Supreme Court in the history of the United States. Fine. Okay, you're welcome to your opinions, but don't do that bullshit. These are families, these are real people, and if you don't like the way the justices are sitting there and laying out their rulings, let me tell you what you do. You get involved in politics. You start working hard to get candidates elected that will be able to win. Let me rephrase that, Democrats, be able to win. And you get to put your own Supreme Court justices up there. You get to put your own federal judges up there. And remember, yeah, there may be a set number of, 9 Supreme Court justices right now. That number can be increased. I'm actually a proponent of it being increased, but not because of the conservative control over it. That'll be a discussion for another day. But let me just say, those are your options. That's how we do it in a republic. That's how we do it in a democracy, which we are. Doing it in the swatting, and that's bullshit. And you're almost as bad as the January Sixers, if that's how you react to not liking the rulings of Supreme Court justices or federal judges or representatives, etc. Just don't do it. Grow up. Grow up. All right, moving on to something else. We're actually going to talk about this on our other show. I'm going to make a plug for it, but let me just read the slide real quick. New York is to impose the country's first statewide moratorium on data centers. Stupid. We have a show. It is on Mondays and Wednesdays at 11 a.m. Pacific, 2 p.m. Eastern. It's an apolitical show, and it's all about AI. We don't talk about politics. We don't talk about any of that kind of stuff unless it's completely apolitical and how it might be affecting AI. We don't talk about politics. And yes, it's a show dedicated to what's happening with AI from an expert. The name of the show is Hinge of History. It's Joe Carvin's Hinge of History. He's an expert in AI, and we deep dive it with videos and all kinds of stuff every day. He literally travels the country talking about this stuff. So the reason I'm bringing this up is because AI is coming, whether you want it to or not. It can either be and promoted and supported from a leadership perspective in the United States of America, or you can do it in China. Make your choice. But the internet goes across the planet, and these data centers go across the planet. Do you really want China controlling those? There is no way to stop what is coming. Matter of fact, we talked about that at length in the last Hinge of History show. It's coming. And our country is not prepared for it. Our political leaders and our educators have not prepared us and our children and those under 30 for what is coming. There's no stopping it. Doing this kind of stuff is how you screw it up and break it even more, because it's not going to slow it down. It's just going to move the technology somewhere else. It is coming. What you do instead is you get involved in it, and you understand the impact it's going to have on people, and you start working to mitigate those impacts to make it a positive impacts or a way that they can get out. And especially what I'm talking about here is when people start losing their jobs, which is going to happen in rows. So, stupid, dumbass move from New York. That's politics getting in something that politically, at least for doing that, is stupid. All right, last slide for the day, and we're going to wrap it up. So I kind of found this one a little bit funny. And remember, I came out of the third party world, and I came out of the electoral reform side of business. So this is a chart that's connected to an article. I didn't want to put the article up. Nobody, guys probably wouldn't want to read it anyways. But for voters who hate both parties, are consolidating behind Democrats. So if you're someone that thinks that Republicans and Democrats are both shitty, okay, um, then let me just tell you that right now those people are favoring Democrats by plus 36. So I don't know. I find this humorous as hell because I guess I'm one of these plus 36s. Because I think both the parties are shitty. All right. So, again, that's the world I grew up in. This is how I got into politics to begin with. But moving beyond that, because I guarantee there's a lot of people watching this that like the Democrats and the Republican Party as much as I do. Just fucking zero. Moving beyond this for just a second, what that chart and these polls are saying is that for those that hate both parties, which I guess doesn't technically mean you're an independent, could make you a swing voter, you prefer the Democratic Party heading into this election by 36 points. That's plus 36% for folks that don't know what that means. If it ends up being half of that, if it's just 18%, plus 18, my God, this election will be a wipeout for Republicans, a wipeout, a historical wipeout. Plus 18, assuming that that also goes through to the purple states and is uniform, which I mean, I'm making a whole lot of assumptions here because it may not happen. But plus 18 flips the House by 40 points, at least 40 seats. At least 40 seats. Plus 18 flips Maine, Ohio, Alaska, Texas, North Carolina. Georgia's already flipped. It'll stay blue. That's already going to happen. You've put in play Iowa. You've put in play South Carolina, which may already be in play because of Lindsey Graham's death. And for those that don't know, we had Annie Andrews, who was Lindsey Graham's opponent. She's the Democrat. I don't know who the opponent's going to be yet. We'll find out from the primary on our show. And that woman is sharp. So if something like that happens and it's anywhere close to that, the ass kicking that Republicans will get will be one for the history books. And now maybe everybody's starting to understand why Donald Trump is making and addressing the nation on Thursday night to talk about foreign countries, the nebulous foreign countries, getting involved in our elections, trying to change it, and why he's trying to change the rules and who can participate and what states have to do, which is constitutionally and statewide and federal law illegal. Makes sense now? Remember, Thursday night, if it's number 2, it could get really ugly. So watch us here. We'll have that. We'll talk about that. Thank you, everybody, for joining us tonight. If you're watching right now, you're probably watching on YouTube. We are moving out to the other social media platforms, so it's possible you could be watching this on TikTok. You could be watching this on X. You could be watching this on Facebook or any other social media platforms. If you do, please like it. If you've got a question, leave us a question. We'll read it out on air. If you want to talk about me or leave a question for me, I'll read it, or one of our other shows, whatever. We're happy to do that. It's kind of fun, actually. And, say you like me doing these one-on-one shows, or you absolutely hate it. That's fine. That's fine. But thank you for watching tonight, and we will see you again tomorrow. Thank you.
The No Bull Political Arena is on all major social media platforms. Make sure to give us and your host a follow.
Hey everybody, this is Sophia Nelson. Follow me at I am Sophia Nelson on every one of my social media platforms.
I'm Bill O'Reilly, and you can reach me at Twitter at WFBOR.
Hey, this is TJ. Follow me on X or Twitter at TJ McCormack.
This is Brian Mistro, and you can follow me on X at Brian_Mistro, or follow along on Facebook at Brian.Mistro.